2FM at 9 minutes past 3. Police Day is where we are today. Tickets go on sale Friday at 8 a.m. for the gig in Croke Park. We'll give you another chance to win them a bit later on. Now, you might remember on the show, it was a few weeks ago when I got in a single. And I was raving about it at the time as being pretty much the best single I'd heard on radio this year. It turns out it's the new one from the Manic Street Preachers. It's got Nina Persson on vocals as well, and we've played it well since then. The record company heard that and they said, God, that's great, Rick, that you love that. Isn't that fair play? And then they sent me a copy of the album, which I'm allowed to play tracks off for the first time today, which is great. And the album is called Send Away the Tigers, and it's the new one from the Manic Street Preachers. Not only that, they then got James and Nicky from the Manic Street Preachers and physically brought them into me. Lads, how are yous?
It's great to be here. It's always good to be in Ireland.
To meet you. James, we've met before, you won't remember. I grabbed your hand at one point and got an autograph off you in a hotel in central Dublin about 8-9 years ago.
8-9 years ago. Was this would this have been in the evening when perhaps things had moved on from sober to slightly oiled?
Ever so slightly, and I remember a little bit, and it was great. You were lovely, you were very polite, you signed the little bit of paper I stuck under your nose as well. It was great, it was cool.
I was probably in bed then.
He's probably in bed, and I was probably enjoying a cigarette and a whiskey, back when you could in Dublin.
You may have been in the old days when you were allowed to do that kind of thing. But you've just started that in Wales now, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, yeah.
There's been a few issues already.
Is that rough, yeah?
We were in the studio last week. There's a big sign in the Owl Cardiff studio, smoking is banned.
Which is good. It's good that we're a non-smoking band now. So kind of like a... But yeah, the world's changing.
And how do people have to go outside for a ciggy in the middle of a take or whatever? That's
I mean,
rough.
I've never ever smoked in my life. I'm not a kind of vigilante anti-smoker. It's just because my dad smoked so much that I've never ever smoked. So
it's weird. I'm a non-smoker up to the point of, you know, when you've had a few, and then there's a few go around, and all of a sudden you go, I'm not really a smoker. Yeah, my mother's going to hate hearing that on the radio. But yeah, it's really weird then once you're in pubs now and everything's just kind of very polite and very nice. And
yeah, well, kind of like the thing is kind of like you hear the worst chat lines when you go outside. If you're still a smoker,
it's called smirting. It's smoking and flirting. And you put smoking and flirting together and you get smirting, and this is where people are all meeting each other outside the pubs these days.
And also, because you never used to hear what other people said because it was drowned out by the kind of the noise inside the pub, but now you hear outside the pub.
Before we actually talk about music, I'd like you to say hello to my son Max.
Hello, Maxie, how are you doing?
Because Max is your youngest and newest fan. He has been listening to the album on loop for the first 10 days of his life, so I think the Manics are going to be his first
traumatized
already. You don't need me to tell you this, but this is just the best thing you guys have done in complete yonks. Congratulations, well done, fair play.
Thank you. No, that's still amazing. Even at our age to hear that, because you become perhaps a bit more insecure about what you do as you get older, really.
Yeah, I think the main thing is we had so much fun, and so the energy on the record, if it gets across to people, then that was the prime motivation.
It does. You guys sound like you're about 22. It's just the energy coming out of it is just amazing.
I think it's because we took the decision right at the start to be just much more instinctive about the way we made music again. We probably haven't made a record in this manner since Everything Must Go. We're kind of like, we'd write the song, and if it worked, we just didn't change it. And if it wasn't working, we never played it again. And for over the last 5 or 6 years or so, we've been deconstructing our sound and delineating, kind of what we'd be doing. And this is the first time we realised that perhaps we'd been overcoaching ourselves, and we just got back to using our instincts and just
natural Welsh flair,
playing it off the floor.
That must be a lot of fun. That must be a really great way to make an album.
It was. I think with the last couple of records, we really haven't played together in a room. We've done it. It's been a lot of separation, not in a nasty way, just in us trying to think things through and change the band's sound. But really, the three of us, we got rid of the keyboard player, producers. We just a little rehearsal room in Cardiff, and the three of us played songs. And if they didn't work, if they didn't please us ourselves, then they were gone. And just the people who fell in love with us all those years ago, we wanted to make them happy again as well, which I think so far we're doing.
Well, look, I'm going to play one, which is I've had this for the last couple of weeks and I haven't been allowed to play anything off it, and I've been away anyway, so I'm going to play the opening track off the album. 2FM with the title track from the new Manic Street Preachers album. It's called Send Away the Tigers. I have James and Nicky sitting in front of me. You were going through a moment there when it was loud on the speakers. You were going, I haven't really heard it on big speakers like this up until now.
No, not since we mixed it, which is a while back now. And it's always that test. You're always scared to hear your songs on the radio for the first time, because there's a dark science about the way your records sound when they go over the airwaves.
So.
Kind of thing.
I don't claim to understand it, but yeah, there's something different about it, isn't there?
Yeah.
But that sounded nice and uplifting and crunchy. And
Crunch.
It's got the crunch.
He's done a sparkling job at it. Just as you said, it's crunchy. It's got a great sound off it.
Yeah,
You know?
and we just wanted to make records to sound good on the radio again. That when you fall in love with music when you're 15, 16, and a record just mainlines straight to your brain and your heart, and just makes you feel good. And that was the prime motivation.
Well, as I was saying to you guys, there's a bunch of stuff that, is going to sound fantastic on the radio on this. I love, as well, what you guys have always combined, which is, there's a song on this about, the CIA's extraordinary rendition flights, which is amongst one of the catchiest songs I've heard all year. How do you put two and two together and come up with that?
I think it's when we're at our best, that kind of symmetry works. Sometimes I try too hard, and I'm guilty with words, or way I've been in the past, of just forcing things down people's throats. But I think when it's done with a kind of joie de vivre, with a slight sense of humour and ridiculous, but still a serious edge, and a glorious tune behind it, then there's no better feeling as a band when like if you go back to If You Tolerate This, it's our biggest ever record everywhere, and it's a song about the Spanish Civil War. So when we get it right, we get it right.
I'm going to ask you as well about live stuff, because one of the things people have been asking us is, ask them, are they coming? What's the story? Are you guys hooking onto the festival thing? Because I know you're doing loads of festivals. Well, I mean, a few festivals across Europe this summer.
Well, we've just had, I think we just confirmed Electric Picnic, so we're playing that in Ireland.
Which everyone tells us is a fantastic festival. We've never done it. So.
It's an experience in and of itself, it really is.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, and we will be doing more dates in October, November. We're doing another UK tour, so we will be starting them in Ireland. We just couldn't fit it in this early, unfortunately, because we've always come to Ireland, probably come more than any other country apart from the UK, probably.
Well, it's a joy to see you. It's lovely having you in for the first time. Gentlemen, you've been everything I hoped it would be to have a chat with you. The album is gorgeous. It's wonderful. It's actually out on my birthday. It's at 7th of May in the UK.
That's a
couple of days before that here. It's the Manic Street Preachers' Send Away the Tigers album. And Nicky and James from the band, thanks a million.
Cheers.
Well, thanks for having us.
You guys, how did that come together?
Well, it was just, the song was written as a duet, an answer and reply, a kind of dialogue between two people, and Nina was always the first choice, because we're huge fans of the Cardigans. We kind of bumped into them over the years at festivals, and we were just scared to ask her. It's like the school disco thing, go and ask that girl to have a dance with me. So we forced James to in the end, and we sent her the demo, and she generally seemed to like the track, which I think you can hear in her singing, that, her energy and her passion on there. And James just went to New York and recorded it in about 3 hours.
Yeah, it was kind of, because we finished recording, we recorded most of the album in Ireland in a studio called Grouse Lodge, and the day that we finished there, Nick and Sean went home to Wales, and then I caught a flight to New York, and I went straight there to get the finishing touches on the album, I suppose, her vocal, and I just watched her in the studio do 5 takes, and it was just like, it was kind of like a glorious moment, seeing somebody else just get what you do and do it so easily. Basically, in a real musicianly kind of sense, it was like watching female Frank Sinatra, just somebody who was completely and utterly in control of their voice. It was amazing.
And then we did the video with her a couple of weeks back, and she was just great. She disappeared into the night with a can of Grolsch on her own. She's really independent, did a bit of knitting, turned up on her own. She was just a really cool person as well.
I'm so glad I asked that question. All right, thank you for hanging on again for another couple of minutes. James and Nicky from the Manic Street Preachers. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.